Hey lazy people, this is Laser Gamer here, and today I'm going to be showcasing my Boros Knights deck. So this is a pretty fun deck. It's just red-white Knights. It's great at rushing our opponent really fast, getting lots of tokens onto the board, getting lots of Knights and buffs, and just trying to finish them off as quick as we can. So really, before getting too much into the strategy for this, I just kind of want to go through the deck itself. We've got 4 copies of Venerable Knight. This is a great little 1-drop with 2 power, and it can buff up another knight when it dies, so really strong in that opening hand to have that, as well as Fervent Champion, being able to get this out on turn 1 with the haste and the first strike, and also being able to buff up other knights with this ability is pretty great. He's a very valuable card in this deck. He also works really well with Embercleave. If you have one down on the board and you need to pay that cost to equip it to something, you can equip it to Fervent Champion for free. So that's a great thing that you can do there. We also play 4 Shocks just because it's really low to the ground. You can clear small creatures out of the way, or you can just hit your opponent for those last couple points of damage if that's what you need to do in order to get through. We also play 4 copies of Worthy Knight. So we play this because it's great token creation. If anything else, it's just a 2/2, 4/2, and it's a knight. So it's great because anytime you play another knight, you're able to get a 1/1 human creature token. And that's very relevant in this in this deck where we're trying to go wide, especially since that kind of brings us to our next card that we're playing is Heartfire. So we're playing 3 copies of this just because we have quite a bit of token generation in this deck, and these tokens that we create are humans. So even with this creature that we create tokens with is actually soldier tokens, so they don't actually get buffs from all of our other knight things, but they're great to sacrifice to Heartfire. And this is great because you can kill something that's got 4 toughness, or you can get through those last few points of damage when you're attacking in. Whatever they block, you can just sacrifice it and get 4 more points of damage in. So Heartfire has proven a really great card in this deck. I used to only play 2 of it in here, but I liked it so much I bumped it up to 3. We also play 4 copies of Rimrock Knight. This is great just because it's got that instant ability, the Boulder Rush, in order to pump something up. It's great on Fervent Champion since it doesn't pump your actual toughness, but giving it to something with first strike makes it really strong, and then also just being able to play it out as a 3/1 body. Kind of getting multiple uses out of everything as much as you can. That's really spectacular in this deck. We've also got 4 copies of Inspiring Veteran. So this should pretty much go without saying. It's a Knight Lord. It's a Knight itself, so it can trigger all of our other Knight abilities. Our Worthy Knight can go off when we're playing our Inspiring Veteran out. But giving all of our other Knights +1/+1, especially when we're going really wide, swarming the board with a whole bunch of Knights, that can just be the thing that finishes off your opponent, gets you those extra points of damage, even gives you those extra points of toughness if you need to survive when you're attacking in with something. Inspiring Veteran can definitely be the MVP of some games. Moving on to the next card, we've got Sky Knight Vanguard. We've got 4 of these. This is great because it's something that, one, it's got evasion, so it's a flying creature. It can fly over top of things, and it only costs 2 mana to get it out for a 1/2. That's not bad. So you can even chump block little 1/1 creatures with this if you need to on defense, but the great thing about this is anytime it attacks, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that is also attacking with it. So effectively this is attacking for 2 points of damage. Even if it's attacking by itself, it gets a little buddy to come in, and of course we can use those tokens to sacrifice to things like Heartfire. They also just help get more and more creatures on the board, making it easier for us to cast our Embercleave later on. But yeah, great card, very valuable in this deck with what we're trying to do here. Also play 4 Light Up the Stages, so this is our draw power in the deck. We need to have a way to refill our hand once we've sworn the board and get everything out onto the board. So Light Up the Stage is a really effective way of doing that. Just being able to, once you deal 1 point of damage, being able to draw 2 cards, basically, and be able to play those until your next turn. That's really great, and being able to do that it's a very strong ability. You need to have that extra draw power in here, so we play 4 of those. We also play 3 copies of Embercleave. I've debated on bumping this up to 4 potentially, and maybe messing around with the Heartfire, but I like Heartfire so much at the 3 where it is, and it's won me so many games that I'm just kind of keeping these at 3 and 3. I think that's the best balance for this deck, but I'm sure everybody's encountered Embercleave at this point. Extremely powerful equipment. Being able to flash it in, put it on top of something that's already a pretty formidable threat, and giving it trample, double strike, and extra +1/+1, it just finishes games really fast when you're able to swarm out and play this out for just 2 mana at instant speed at that, after they've declared blockers and everything. So amazing card in this deck and in most decks that it plays in. For our land base, we play 6 planes. I've considered playing the castle. I think it's Ardenvale. It's the white one that can actually create you tokens, but I want to make sure I have as many untapped sources in this deck so I can play things out as fast as possible. And honestly, if you're getting to that late game where you can actually pay for the ability of that castle, you're probably not going to be winning that one if you're spending 4 mana plus tapping that land in order just to create a 1/1 token. That's not going to get you there in this deck. You're probably already out of it at that point. You're wanting to be winning pretty quickly with this deck. Looking at this, we also play 1 Castle Embereth. So we just play this 1 copy. I've considered 2 copies of this, just because it does sometimes get you that extra bit of damage in if you have that extra mana to play with, and being able to pump up all of your creatures, even the non-knights, the tokens that are created with Castle Embereth, just makes this a pretty powerful card. So maybe considering bumping this up to a second one and taking out a mountain, but I just want to have as many untapped sources as possible. I've had some games where I start off with this 1 copy in my hand and I'm like, okay, are you kidding me? So right now I'm just sitting at 1 with this, but also 7 mountains, just to make sure we're trying to round out our mana base here. We definitely play more red sources and more red everything in this deck than we do white, so we have a couple more red sources than we do white. We do have some turn 1 white sources though, so I do want to still play a pretty good amount of white. Plus we've got our 4 Sacred Foundries, so our shock lands that can be used for red or white, also counts as a mountain and plains, so it can allow our Castle Embereth to come in untapped whenever we're playing it, if we do play this down first. Just great card, allows you to play things out a little bit better. And then Tournament Grounds, of course. This is fantastic because it works well with every single one of the creatures in our deck. We're able to cast them with this card, as well as you can even do it with Embercleave, since it's an equipment and you can use this on knights or equipment spells. So Tournament Grounds is great. The only real things you can't play with it, you've got Shock, you've got Heartfire, and then you've got the instant on Rimrock Knight. That's pretty much it. That you can't play with it. Oh yeah, and light up the stage. But other than that, that's why we have several other red sources that can get us there. But yeah, this is the deck here. It's pretty quick. It's pretty strong. I'm gonna do some videos where I got some gameplay of this deck as well. I'll put a link in the description of this video for that if you're interested in seeing some gameplay of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you like what you saw. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of that great stuff. If you enjoyed this video, definitely feel free to leave a comment as well if there's maybe another deck that you want to see built, or you have any ideas that you want to kind of see me play with as well. Let me know that. I'm definitely open to that. Can use the ideas for that and help grow this channel. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out. Thank you.